This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, good morning all. In last class, we discussed band diagram of energy band diagram of semiconductor device. Today class also we continue same thing, energy band diagrams of semiconductor device and PN junction diode. Right? Okay, here the main concept is how to draw the PN junction, how to draw the energy band diagrams. The first basic concept is, this is the first basic concept, right? Consider the silicon. If silicon is a single atom, if isolated atom or single atom, these are all the some energy levels, right? Okay, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. These are all the energy levels. Okay, each energy level electrons are occupied by a specific electronic configuration, right? This diagram is valid for only a single silicon atom or a single isolated atom. Now, if you consider some crystal, silicon crystal, now what happen means, now atoms are more number of atoms. Okay, already we know that in a silicon, how many number of atoms per cubic centimeter cube means nearly 10 power 20. 10 power 20 silicon atoms are available within a per cubic centimeter area. So that means area is very small. When area is small, what happen means these energy levels are distributed. Okay, these energy levels are interacted with another silicon atom energy levels. That means completely these energy levels are disturbed. Okay, then what happen means, okay, okay, this is observe x-axis relative spacing of atom. If atom increases, okay, there is no problem. If the spacing between atom is more, okay, these are all the discrete energy levels, 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s and 3p. If coming from right side to left side, that means the spacing, relative spacing of atom decreases. What happen? As relative spacing of atom decreases, what happen means these energy levels are split, right? Okay, these are all the inner energy states, 1s, 2s, 2p. Okay, and coming to the outermost energy states are 3s and 3p. What is 3s? How many states here? How many electrons? 2 electrons, 2 states. Whereas 3p, how many states here? 3p, 6 is the maximum. So 6 states, where capital N is the number of atoms. Suppose single atom, 6 states. But what are the available here? Only 3p2 for silicon, only 2 electrons. Okay, here 3s, 2n states, 2n electrons. 3p, 6n states and 2n electrons. Okay, these two outermost discrete energy states are slowly as the energy, as the relative spacing decreases, what happens means first they split. Okay, they split and form a some energy band, right? Okay, what happens means in this area, green area, observe here, in this green area, bunch of energy levels are available. Fuse number of energy levels are available. Remember this one. Then what happened means, I try to explain here with help of some paint here. Okay. Now what happened means this energy level, what happened means, suppose this one energy level, this energy level into split into two parts. So this is something like a 3p. Similarly, 3s energy level. 3s energy level also split into like this. Okay, and they form a something arrangement like this. Okay, this is the arrangement, right? Okay, this is not exact drawing here. Okay, like this, what happened means this outermost energy levels are first of all into split, right? Now this area, all this area is bunch of energy levels are available here, right? Okay, observe here. This 3p state coming as decrease, what happened? Slowly split here. This one 3s also slowly split. Okay, green area indicates here. Green area indicates bunch of available energy states. Now in this area, observe here cross mark here. In this area, here this is a overlap, right? Okay. Right side this area is how many here? 6n states, 2n electrons, 2n states, 2n electrons. Now in this area, overlapping area, total how many states? Here 6 and here 2, total 8n states, 4n electrons are available. Now again this one, this energy again divided into two parts. Okay, separated by a band gap. Separated by a band gap, Eg, energy band gap, right? Okay, above this one is called the conduction band. Below this one is called the valency band. How many states here? Conduction band, 4 states. How many electrons? 0 electrons. Whereas valency band, how many states here? 4 states. How many electrons? 4n electrons. That means valency band is completely filled, whereas conduction band is completely empty. Remember this one. Okay, and finally, in any atoms, as the spacing of atom decreases, what happens means they form some energy band. Okay, in energy band, this again divided into two parts. One is the conduction band above this one, and valency band separated by a energy band gap. For silicon, energy band gap is 1.1 electron volt. Suppose for germanium, okay, it may be right side. Just why? Because it is 0.68 electron volt. Around this one is the germanium band gap, right? Because this is the band structure, right? Band gap, band diagram, okay, a silicon, right? Okay, already we discussed also last class. Okay, this one is, and finally, each and every time no need to draw this type of diagram, right? So that simply we can represent like this, right? Finally, any band diagram consists of a valency band that is completely filled with electrons, and conduction band that is empty for insulators, and the band gap is easy, right? This band gap for insulators is very high, nearly greater than 5 to 7 electron volt. It is very difficult for electron to jump into valence band into conduction band in an insulator. So that way, okay, there is no movement of electrons here, so that there is no electricity in insulators. Similarly, come to the here semiconductors. Semiconductors, the band diagram also same as insulators, but except only small changes. Band gap is small. For band gap is only 1.1 electron volt. Okay, here valence band is completely filled, conduction band is empty. Now coming to the metals, these two bands are overlap. In some cases, these two bands, that means conduction band and valence band overlap. So that what happens means more number of electrons are available in valence band also. Okay. This is also already we discussed here. This is a valency band. Below this one, EV is the energy of valency band, EC is the conduction band. Here observe here, for EC, for conduction band, we are considering the lowest level of energy state. For valence band, we are considering the highest level of energy state. For lowest band, highest energy state. For upper band, that is a conduction band, lowest energy state. Remember this one. Okay, if temperature increases, suppose, then what happens means this particular electron acquires sufficient energy, then jump into conduction band. Now what happened here, like this, few electrons jump into conduction band. Now here what happened, there is a hole is created. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 holes are created. Now what happened, there may be some chance another electron may fill up with this holes. Again one hole is created. Like this, there is a hole transformation taking place in valency band. Whenever the hole movement taking place in valency band, that means there is some results current. Current is resultant due to the hole movement, that is in valency band. Remember that one. Okay, hole movement taking place in valency band only, and hole current only in valency band. Okay, coming to the here conduction band, energy states are available. Now here once electron jump into conduction band, here the energy states are available here, right? This energy states, what is the diagram here? First diagram, how many states are there here? 4 n states, 0 electrons, where n is the number of atoms. If 10 atoms are there, how many states are there? 40 states are there. If 10 atoms, if for example consider. Similarly, here more number of energy states are available in conduction band. What are the here the carriers? Carriers are the electrons. That means electron can move from one energy state to another energy state, resultant into a current, right? Okay, whenever the electron moving or hole moving, then only current is resulted. Remember that one, right? And this is a intrinsic concentration. Already we know number of electrons is equal to number of holes. Now this is the energy bands. Okay. Now how to improve the conductivity in a semiconductor material means one way is doping. Already we discussed doping. Okay, here this is for n-type semiconductor here. So we are added some donor atom. Due to this, what happens means it will create a one energy level just below the conduction band. It will create one energy level, and also it having some electrons very nearby the conduction band. Okay, at 0 degree, electrons are same states. At 50 Kelvin, this is 0K, this is 50 Kelvin. Okay, these electrons acquire sufficient energy, then jump into conduction band. Just 50 Kelvin only. Remember that one. Not room temperature. Room temperature is 300 degree. Yes, 300 Kelvin, not degree. 300 Kelvin. But less than room temperature, also few electrons available in conduction band. Okay. Similarly, for P-type acceptors. Okay, whenever we are adding acceptor, hole, right? Here more number of holes are created in along with energy states. This is very nearby valency band. This is very nearby valency band. Okay, when 50 degree, okay, very small temperature, few electrons jump into holes. Then what happens means here holes are created in valency band. Then maybe chance hole movement taking place in valency band, then there is a current, hole current. Okay, okay. That is about these two are the p-type and n-type materials. This is the n-type material, and n-type material, observe here the donor energy state is very nearby conduction level. Similarly, acceptor energy state very nearby valency band. Okay. Now what happen whenever p-type and n-type material. Okay, this is the before contact. This is the conduction band. This is the p-type. P-type means acceptor. This is the acceptor level, and this is n-type. N-type means donor level. Okay, this is approximately here we can call the EF Fermi level. Okay, what is meant by Fermi level means? Okay, now here there is a, it is a probability statistic. Fermi, it is a scientist name, right? What he derived, that means he gives some probability of available of a energy states to find electrons. Okay, okay, given we are not in detail about Fermi Dirac functions. Okay, just briefly for your idea, I am giving here. This is the Fermi function here. This is the equation 1 by 1 plus e power e minus ef by kt, where kt is the already you know thermal energy, right? Now, when this energy is equal to Fermi energy, E is equal to EF. Whenever E, x-axis E, y-axis is the Fe, right? Whenever E is equal to EF, what happens means 1 by 1 plus 1, that is equal to 50% probability, irrespective of temperature. Remember this one. Irrespective of temperature, whatever may be the temperature condition, the 50% probability, that means 50% 1 by 2, that is equal to 50% probability of we may find electron or hole, right? As temperature increases, what happens means, again observe here. Okay, now here this blue line indicates the 0 Kelvin. At 0 Kelvin, we are not find any energy states above Fermi level. Here EF is the above Fermi level here. Okay, where EF is the Fermi level. Above Fermi level, observe the blue line. Above Fermi level, there is no energy states, right? Okay, as T increases, temperature increases. Okay, here decreases, here increases. Then what happens means, just greater than 0 Kelvin, we find some energy states. Observe here in this area above the blue line. In this area, few energy states are available. Okay, this is the Fermi concept. That means just greater than 0 Kelvin also, few energy states are available to find electrons as well as holes, right? Okay. And second one is, okay. This is the same Boltzmann distribution. Again, you can consider some scientist name. Here some area within this area, Boltzmann distribution. Okay, the slope is changes here. Whenever the slope is changes, means some energy states are available. Now this is okay. Okay, this is the Fermi level for n-type material. Okay, n-type material is donors. Okay, it will create a one energy state. It will nearby conduction band. Okay, that also called the Fermi level. Now this is the Fermi distribution function. Similarly for p-type material, okay, this is the Fermi distribution function. Okay, depending upon the Fermi level. As we added a acceptor impurities, that is nearby valency band. Okay. So these are about the simple Fermi distributions, right? Now what happens means, here whenever we connect p-type material and n-type material, okay. Now first one is diffusion taking place here. Here n-type material, more number of electrons diffuse into p-type, and they recombine with valency band. Why? Because in valency band more number of holes are there. Similarly here, p-type material holes are majority carriers. They diffuse into n side and they combine into electrons in n side. Okay, this is the process. During this process, what happen means, here what happen here, here in this p-type number of electrons increases. Here n-type number of holes are increases. Due to this, what happens means Fermi level here increases, here Fermi level decreases, right? Okay, now in anyhow, Okay. So here the condition is, what is the rule here? At equilibrium, no discontinuity or slope may appear in the Fermi level. Remember this one. After contact here, what happened means the Fermi level throughout the device is constant. This one is the rule, right? Remember this one. Now, okay, whatever may be the concept here, Fermi level in p side increase and n side decreases, and finally the Fermi level is constant throughout this pn device. Remember this one. Okay, and one more thing is the difference between ef minus ev before contact same as after contact. Here also difference between EC minus EF, the difference, whatever the difference here, N side, the difference EC minus EF, here also same as EC minus EF. Okay, this difference is same before contact and after contact. EF minus EV, EC minus EF, the difference is same after the contact also. Then how to connect here? The valency band reduces means just simply connect here. This is called the band bending. This phenomena is called the band bending. Remember this one. Okay. Okay. Now what happen means whenever the band bending taking place, okay, this is under equilibrium condition. Okay, due to this what happen means some electrons diffuse into n type into p type. Here the holes diffuse into p type into n type. Diffusion taking place. Whenever diffusion taking place at the nearby junction, what happens means, okay, some immobile ions are created. In positive side p type negative, in n side positive immobile ions are created. Okay, due to this, okay, this is the depletion region. Due to this depletion region, what happens means, okay, there may be drift current flows through this one. Okay, this electron come to this direction. Similarly, this holes come to this direction. Okay. Now what happens means, under equilibrium condition, after certain time, once the depletion region is completely filled, it will oppose the flow of charge carriers from both sides due to this electric field. Due to this electric field, there exists some built-in potential. Already we derived built-in potential. That built-in potential is equal to Q into V naught. Right? This built-in potential stop the diffusion, so that whenever the drift current is equal to diffusion current, okay, this is the drift mechanism. Here observe the green. Green one is the drift mechanism. Here the red one is the diffusion mechanism. Whenever the drift mechanism or drift current is equal to diffusion current, now what happens means, okay, current is equal to 0. Okay, it is equilibrium condition. The terminals are not connected to any voltage levels. Okay, at depletion region, there exists some fail. Due to this, there exists some voltage. That voltage is the built-in potential voltage. Okay, why this is triangle like the triangular shape means, what happens means this energy levels, this is the lowest energy level here, this is the topmost energy level here in valency band. Here more number of charge carriers here. It is a n type. Lowest one is the more number of charge carriers. Slowly as increases, okay, vertical axis, that means number of electrons decreases. That's why this is the triangular shape. Similarly here in holes also. Remember this one. Lowest energy state occupy the more number of electrons. Okay, that is the concept here. Okay. Okay. So this is the PN junction under equilibrium condition. These are the condition. Okay, what is the hole diffusion current, hole diffusion and hole drift current, electron diffusion and electron drift current under equilibrium condition. Now here PN junction is connected in different ways. One is equilibrium condition, one is forward bias, and another one is the reverse bias. Observe the band diagram, how band diagram is changes here. Okay, Here when the PN junction is in equilibrium condition, okay, this much of this is the built-in potential voltage Q into V naught. This is the height, right? Now when this one is forward bias, this depletion region decreases, electric field decreases, voltage also decreases. Remember this one. And whenever this one is reverse bias, what happen? The width of the depletion region increases. As the width of the depletion region increases, what happens means electric field increases, built-in voltage also, this voltage level also increases. Okay, these are all the corresponding current flow. And one thing is, if hole current and direction of hole and hole current is same, coming to the electron, if electron moving from left to right, and the conventional current is opposite, right to left, remember. And finally, the conventional electron current is same as hole current. Both are flowing in same direction only. Okay, these are all the band diagram for different cases, right? Under equilibrium case, this one is the forward bias, it is reduces, this Q into V naught, how much times reduces V naught minus Vf. This built-in potential it is increases. How much time here? Q into V naught plus VR, right? Okay. This is in detail. Whenever this one is, whenever no bias is applied here, that is VA is equal to 0. Equilibrium condition. No bias is applied means equilibrium condition. Equilibrium condition, what happen here? Drift current is equal to diffusion current. If no applied voltage, okay, drift current, only transient current flows through the PN junction only, at the middle of the junction only. This is due to diffusion, this is due to drift, right? Okay. Finally, drift current is equal to diffusion current. Okay, this one is reverse biased as VA less than 0. Reverse biased, what happen means, okay, the slope is increases. Why? Because depletion region width is increases. Depletion region width is increases. Built-in potential, the potential height also increases. Slope is very, very high. Okay, there is no diffusion. The process of diffusion is very, very difficult. Why? Because observe here, how to diffuse. Okay, there is some height here. It is very, only the flowing is due to some minority carriers, that is drift only. And third one is forward bias. Forward bias, what happened? Observe this one slope, very, very small slope. Here also small slope. Observe this here, Jim. It is a forward bias. Forward bias, depletion region width is decreases. Right? Now what happened means the maximum current is diffusion as well as drift, both sides. This is about PN junction under 3 bias with band diagrams, right? Suppose in the examination, explain the PN junction diode with energy band diagrams. These 3 are the enough, right? This is about the no applied bias or equilibrium condition. This is the slope, and when reverse bias, this is the slope. Here the slope is important. Slope height also important. Remember this one. Slope as well as slope height also important. And forward bias, this is the slope, right? Okay. That is about the energy band diagrams of PN junction, as well as we covered semiconductors, N-type and P-type. Now another important topic is resistance. Okay, what is the resistance offered by a PN junction diode? Already we studied the VI characteristics of a PN junction diode. Okay, this is somewhat look like this one. This is about VI characteristics of a PN junction diode. Okay, already we explained this one. When Vi is equal to 0, that is when diode voltage or applied voltage is equal to 0, current also 0. Slowly increases once the cut-in voltage When the forward voltage greater than cut-in voltage, slowly increases and current exponentially increases. In reverse bias, okay, as reverse voltage increases, very small amount of current flows due to the magnetic carriers. Now, the resistance are two types of resistance here. DC or static resistance. Okay, DC resistance or static resistance. Generally, these resistance values are calculated when diode operated in forward bias only. Remember this one. Whenever diode operated in forward bias, then only to find some resistance through the curve, right? Okay. In reverse bias, generally the current almost ideal case is 0, so that infinite resistance. In the practically very high, right? Mainly concentrate on forward characteristics. Forward characteristics. Okay. Here these are the characteristics. Forward characteristics. After some cut-in voltage, current exponentially increases. Now in forward characteristics, we find two different types of resistance. One is the DC or static resistance. What is the meaning of static? It does not change, right? Okay. Now here, this is the curve. Suppose this is the operating point. Here black dot indicates some operating point. We are operated the diode at this particular current, right? Now this one. And just projection on x-axis and y-axis with respect to this dot point, and Rd is equal to Vd by I. Simply based on the Ohm's law, R is equal to V by I. Now the diode resistance Rd is equal to Vd, forward voltage, by diode current at particular operating point, right? Observe here, the application of a DC voltage to a circuit containing a semiconductor diode will result in an operating point on the characteristic curve that will not change with time. Remember this one. This operating point that will not change with respect to time, right? Okay, this operating point is fixed. Now once this operating point is fixed, what happens means we can easily find the diode resistance Rd is equal to Vd by I. Simply project on x-axis and y-axis. What is the voltage? X-axis voltage. Similarly, what is the y-axis? Current at particular point, right? Like that we find out the DC resistance. This DC resistance also called static resistance, right? Okay, here is some simple problem. It is observed problem. Determine the DC resistance levels of a diode. These are the diode characteristics. What is the condition? This operating point is given as ID is equal to 2 milliamp, ID is equal to 20 milliamp, and voltage again Vd is equal to minus 10 volt. Okay, this is the characteristic curve. What is here in first case? ID is equal to 2 milliamp. Just simply project on this curve. Okay, now find out the voltage. What is the voltage here? Corresponding voltage 0.5 is the corresponding voltage, right? Now what is RD? RD is equal to VD. VD is equal to 0.5. How to find 0.5? Given 2 milliampere is the operating point. Simply draw one horizontal line that touch with your VI curve. Then simply touch with that point to the vertical axis. That will give us the voltage. Okay. Now VD is equal to 0.5 volts by 2 milliampere. That is equal to 250 ohms. Similarly, second case, ID is equal to 20 milliamperes. What is 20 milliampere? This is the 20 milliampere point. Just simply draw one x-axis line, and for that point to draw one y-axis line to VD point, right? Now here in this case, what is VD? VD is equal to 0.8. 0.8 by 20 milliampere, that is 40 ohms. Okay. Now coming to third case, what is VD? VD is equal to minus 10 volt. Okay, here given voltage, first two cases a given current operating point. In third case a given voltage is the operating. But the third case minus 10 volt. Simply draw one vertical line that touches with the VI curve of your PN diode. That will, what is the current here on this point? 1 microamperes. Okay, RD, VD is equal to 10 volts. What is the current? 1 microampere. So how much here? 10 mega ohms. Okay, what is the conclusion here? In first case, now just diode enter into forward bias, so that the RD is equal to forward resistance is equal to 250 ohms. Whenever diode completely operated in forward bias at 20 milliamperes range, what is the diode resistance? 40 ohms. Remember this one. Okay, in the exponential region, okay, in this exponential region, the diode resistance is very, very small. Okay, here the 40 ohms. Now in reverse bias, when diode is in reverse bias, what is value here? 10 mega ohm, very, very large. Okay, the current is very, very small. 1 microampere current is very, very small. So that's why the resistance is 10 mega ohm, very large. Now come to the another resistance. Another resistance is ACR, dynamic resistance. Okay, what is meant by dynamic or AC resistance? Observe here. The DC resistance of a diode is independent of the shape of the characteristics in the region surrounding the point of interest, right? If you consider the DC point here, okay, this is the DC operating point. It does not depend upon the input side, right? Input is a fixed one. Whereas here AC, if we are applying a sinusoidal signal, okay, this one is the sinusoidal signal. If a sinusoidal rather than DC input is applied, the situation will change completely. Remember this one. Now, the varying input will move the instantaneous operating point up and down a region of the characteristics, and this defines a specific change in current and voltage as shown in figure. Okay, this DC voltage are static resistance, DC resistance or static resistance, that is fixed. Whereas here AC resistance or dynamic resistance, that is changes, right? How it changes means, once if we fix the operating point, if we apply some sinusoidal signal, now this operating point Q point changes according to the sinusoidal signal. Okay, at this point this is the Q point, at this point this is the Q point, at this point this is the Q point. Remember this one. Observe here this sentence. If a sinusoidal rather than DC input is applied, the situation will change completely. The varying input will move the instantaneous operating point. Okay, this is the instantaneous operating point continuously changes according to the sinusoidal signal. Okay, we'll move the instantaneous operating point up and down a region of the characteristics, and thus defines a specific change in the current as well as voltage. Now in this case, how to find the resistance means, what is the maximum change? What is your maximum change? This is the maximum and this is the minimum. This is the delta VD. Similarly in y-axis, delta ID. Okay, change in VD x-axis, change in ID in y-axis. Then you can find the resistance. Now what is the resistance? RD is equal to change in VD by change in ID. Right? So this is about the dynamic resistance concept. Then how to find means, draw one tangential line with respect to the Q point, then that will project into x-axis. Then you can find the delta VD and delta ID. Okay, observe here. This is the given problem. Determine the resistance, dynamic resistance. ID is equal to 2 milliamperes and ID is equal to 25 milliamperes. Right. Now observe here. This is the 2 milliampere. Okay, this dotted black line 2 milliamperes. Now this one is the operating point. Now based on this operating point, draw one tangent line. Okay, draw one tangent line. Now we have to find the change in VD. Now again we have to find the change in ID. Okay, what is change in ID? The maximum change in ID is here. What is here? This is the 2 milliampere. That one touches with 0. But how much of change? 2 milliampere is the change. Similarly, in above the operating point also 2 milliampere change. Okay, total change is 4 milliamperes. What about here? Voltage. Okay, this is the one level. This is another level. Okay. Now here the first case. Okay, what is the total change in ID? Total change in ID is equal to 4 milliamperes minus 0, that is equal to 4 milliamperes. Then total change in VD, okay, this level and this level. Total change in 0.76 minus 0.65, that is equal to 0.11. Okay, then the resistance is 27.5 ohms. That is the AC resistance or dynamic resistance. And similarly, how to find at 25? Okay, draw one tangent line. Okay, at 25, then this will give this one. Then find the change in ID, change in VD. Now what happened here? Change in RD, that is equal to 10 milliamperes. Okay, change in VD very small, around 0.02 volts. Then the dynamic resistance is equal to 2 ohms. Now what we compare here? Just here a 2 milliampere operating point, just the diode enter into forward bias. Even the dynamic resistance also 27.5 ohms. Once the diode operated completely in forward bias, okay, at 25 milliamperes current operating point. Now when we draw the tangent line, it will give the something like approximately, this is a vertical change and x-axis change almost very small. So that what happened? 0.02 by 10 milliamperes, only 2 ohm. Okay, like that you calculate the dynamic resistance from graph, right? Dynamic resistance as well as static resistance from graph. Okay, these are the few diode models. Okay, in biology study given some diode models. Okay, here this is the piecewise linear diode model. Only consider the forward bias. Some V gamma, up to V gamma current is equal to 0. Greater than V gamma current flows, but current increases to some dynamic resistance RAC. Now simplified model V gamma and ideal diode. Okay, here it did not consider the diode forward resistance, so that when the graph is vertical line. Whereas in first case, it considered the dynamic resistance. Dynamic resistance changes with respect to input. Okay, that's why as V changes, I also changes. Whereas in second case, it did not consider the dynamic resistance, so that the graph is vertical line. In third case, ideal device. What is ideal device here? Completely did not consider the V gamma. It did not consider the diode forward resistance. Simply, okay, this is ideal case. Just whenever the diode voltage just greater than 0.1, itself current flows through the diode. Remember this one. These are all the diode models used in circuits. Okay, to analyze the circuit each and every time, we did not consider the in detail p-type material, n-type material, energy band diagrams, etc. Okay, always replace diode with equivalent models. Okay, while solving the problems, okay, replace diode with its equivalent models, then solve the problem using some network analysis concepts, right? Okay, suppose you consider the diode is ideal diode. Ideal diode means whenever just input voltage just greater than 0.1, diode enter into forward bias. Input voltage less than 0, diode is in reverse bias. Okay, in all these cases, it did not consider the in reverse bias. Reverse bias also very small amount of current flows. Okay, these are all the diode models. and some diode specifications. Okay. Whenever you purchase a diode, okay, given some specifications. Okay, in that what given some what is some forward voltage at specified current and temperature. Okay, forward voltage, forward current, and reverse saturation current, and reverse voltage rating, maximum power dissipation. Okay, this one is maximum power dissipation, capacitance levels, some timings, reverse recovery time, that is depending upon switching times of a diodes, and operating temperature range, and power P is equal to V into I, diode voltage into current. Okay, now is a symbol for this is the diode symbol here. Okay, there is a one black region here. Okay, this region indicates the N type. That means above this one is P type or anode, below this one is cathode or N type. So in this case, this one above this one is the P type material, below this one the right side is the cathode, left side terminal is the anode. Remember this one. There is one black one, this one. Okay, black circle actually. Right side this one is cathode, left side this one is anode. So these are all some temperature ranges, power dissipations, and also a given. So what are the test condition? What are the maximum current, voltage levels, and these are all the curves, right? Okay, forward voltage versus forward current. Okay, like that. Okay, all these are not necessary. Just remember the few specifications. What are the specifications? What is the maximum power dissipation of a particular temperature? Beyond that, we cannot operate the device. So we can operate the device means the device may be burnout. Similarly, reverse recovery time indicates the switching speed of a diode. What is the operating temperature range? How to operate the diode? Okay, like that it will give the all this information about the specifications, right? Okay, this is about the today class. Briefly, we go through the we discuss some PN junction, and finally we discuss energy band diagram of a PN junction. Under no bias, only drift current is equal to diffusion, and reverse bias, the height of the depletion or built-in potential is increases. Why? Because depletion is an increase, electric field also increases. Now in this case, this one is decreases. Always differentiate with respect to slope. Observe here the slope. This is the slope when no bias. This is the slope reverse bias, and this is the slope forward bias. And simple topic resistance. Okay, DC resistance at point, only DC resistance is with respect to only at one operating point. RD is equal to VD by IT. Whereas dynamic resistance, it will change if input is a sinusoidal. Now the operating point instantaneously changes according to sinusoidal, according to Q point. Now what is the resistance? Change in VD by change in IT, right? I think tomorrow also I have a class, RVRP class. I will inform through WhatsApp group, right? Any doubts in this class or any previous classes, please inform through WhatsApp group. Thank you for joining. Thank you all. Okay. I have corrected networks papers for D section students. I have corrected networks first bit papers. Only 3 students got out of 25 by 25. Remaining students are, few students are written well, few students are below 9 marks also, right? Okay, anyhow, try to recover the concepts of network concepts also, right? Okay, thank you.